Hello, my name is Steve.
And I'm David.
And this is Anime Plus. We are into the third and final compilation movie of the original Mobile Suit Gundam. This is movie number 3, Encounters in Space.
The movie starts with the White Base team leaving Earth after being assigned to the task of attacking Solomon Base. However, as they are leaving Earth to go to this, they are being chased by Char and the Zanzibar. This causes them to make a pit stop basically at Site 6, which is a neutral faction from the war. They have chosen to neither support the Federation nor the Principality of Zeon. White Base lands here to get repairs. Initially, they're refused, as Side 6 wants almost nothing to do with the conflict, until Mirai's Boothang, her fiance, Cameron.
He's the district attorney of Side 6?
He is the district attorney. He's able to pull some strings and get White Base repairs. But before that, Amuro, while exploring Side 6, sees his dad, has this whole interaction with his father, and is basically convinced that his father is brain damaged. Because his father is very, very eccentric. Post Side 7's destruction, he is hyper fixated on making Gundam better to defeat Zeon. After having this interaction with his father, Amuro runs into a very strange woman named Lala, who is very, very
high,
yes. Very hippy-dippy. Still inside 6, he goes to see his father one last time. On his way back, before White Base leaves, his car gets stuck in some mud because it was raining, and Lala is with Char, going in the opposite direction, and Char and Lala pull over and basically help Amuro. Char doesn't realize that Amuro is the Gundam pilot, but Amuro realizes that Char is Char and, panics. This then causes, this lingering thing within Amuro about Char, and then Char and Lala disappear, leaving us to wonder what Char is doing with Lala. White Base is going to be repaired. They're being escorted, and just outside of Side 6's neutrality zone, a Zeon surprise attack is waiting in ambush for the White Base team. They get clapped because Amuro is now Space Jesus.
The battle ends up getting televised.
Yes.
Because it's happening right at the outskirts of Side 6's sphere of influence.
TLDR, Amuro being Space Jesus claps the Zeon. This then transitions to Char training Lala, because she's a new type.
Lala comes from the Flanagan Institute that is doing groundbreaking research on Newtypes and their abilities.
Yeah.
And so, due to that, in the association with Zeon, Lala gets enlisted into Zeon as a soldier.
Because #Newtype, she is their secret weapon. She gets trained on this mobile armor called the Elmeth, which has the first prototype SciComm weaponry. She basically wrecks a bunch of Fetty ships. The Battle of Solomon commences. Dozel Zabi, arguably the coolest Zabi.
He looks like Frankenstein's monster, though.
He does.
It's kind of weird.
Arguably the most honorable of the Zabis. Besides their dad.
Papa Zabi is not an honorable human being at all.
Well, I mean,
no.
More honorable than any of the other 3. Garma's a whiny little bitch.
I mean, Garma,
Nazi boy is Nazi boy.
Cassilia's all right.
True.
Cassilia's all right.
The penultimate battle of the series happens. Amuro,
for this point.
Amuro, Space Jesus is all over the place again, makes it into Solomon, and causes Dozel to evacuate Solomon.
No, I would say what the real catalyst of him going, we're not going to win this, is when the Federation set up their little light reflective system and just took a chunk out of the base.
There's a lot that's going on.
Focus
that battle.
Solar energy.
There's the solar flare weaponry, Amuro being Space Jesus, the overwhelming force of the Federation, the fact that Char is not there. The overwhelming force of the Federation basically causes Dozel to be like, get my wife and daughter out of here. Anybody that's important and not combat important, get out of here. Everybody to mobile suits and mobile armor. Let's go. And he
busts out this super weapon.
He busts out a super weapon called Big Zom. And boy is it big and boy is it Zombie. Basically, this last-ditch effort by the Zeon to stop the Federation doesn't work because Amuro Space Jesus is his way through Big Zom's like reflector shield or whatever.
Well, with the help from
With the help from Lieutenant Slegger, who dies after promising Mirai that he wouldn't die.
He knew he was going out there to die. She knew he was going out there to die.
Sucks some face, gives her a ring, dies.
He's like, here, this was my mom's ring. Can you wash it for me?
Refuses to elaborate.
He's like, you're too good for me.
But yeah, Amuro basically destroys Big Zom, and the brass balls on Dozo Zabi goes out with a machine gun is just...
He's not...
The brass balls on that guy.
He is just a soldier.
He is a soldier through and through.
Through and through. He was like, I'm not done yet. I'm going to keep fighting until I can't fight. There is no surrender in my mind.
And then we get the scene of the series where basically the eldest Zabi son, Girin, goes to Degwin and it's like, hey, I need you to sign this because you are the sovereign of Zeon. It's some permissions to like use super weapons. And Degwin is like, hey, you know what this kind of reminds me of? Adolf Hitler. So Degwin, after this meeting with his son and basically equating him to Hitler, I think I need to go talk to the Federation to go sign a peace treaty. So he gets into his flagship, goes. We get the whole Lala destroying shit sequence and Lala getting defeated by Amuro, which causes Amuro to be like, oh God, what have I done? He does the Anakin, what have I done?
So you get to think. The precipice of this story is also the rapid emergence of maturing new type powers. Lala's new type ability is so intense. And even though they had briefly met, their connection as new types was so formative that it just... And given the fact that he's the one that killed her.
Yeah.
All because Lala was trying to protect Char from killing his sister.
We also get the duel in Texas too.
Between Char and Amuro as Lala is observing.
Yeah, because then she dies. Then they shoot the big cannon that kills Degwin and the General Revel.
Like a third of the Federation forces.
So that happens. Then Cassilia finds out that Girin did this. She blows his brains out while the Battle of Baoaku is happening, which is the ultimate final battle of Mobile Suit Gundam. Just shit hits the fan.
It's all or nothing at this point.
It's literally all or nothing. Char and Amuro are like in multiple different one-on-one combats, where first it's the Gundam and the Gelgoog. Sorry, no, not the Gelgoog. It's that secret, it's the stupid hover one. They have that battle. The Gundam is destroyed, and so is Char's. That's when Sayla finds them.
Because remember, they encountered each other again.
Yes.
And then she was trying to plead with him to like leave military life, and he sends a briefcase of gold to her.
Yeah, right after Texas.
And that's when
they're sword fighting. They stab each other. She's all like, "Please stop again," and he's like, "Oh, well, I still have a score to settle." He grabs a rocket launcher, oofs Cassilia with rocket launcher with a perfect headshot that blows her goddamn head off, which you can see her head getting blown off.
Yeah.
In both the anime and the movie.
Yes.
I was like, damn. And then Amuro Space Jesuses everybody out of Baoaku. You think he's dead, but then the kids are like, go this way, go that way, go this way, go that way.
We can feel him.
And then and everybody lived happily ever after.
White Base got destroyed. Grandpa Gundam got destroyed.
Baoaku got destroyed.
Not totally destroyed. It still exists, but it doesn't function as much as it used to.
Yeah, and we basically get an outro of Zeon became a republic. They signed an armistice with the Federation, and roll credits. End of Mobile Suit Gundam.
So you can tell why this never showed up as a children's cartoon in America in the 80s, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It was a little bit easier to mold Macross into being Robotech, but they probably could have done it. There would have been some significant editing in Mobile Suit Gundam to make it meet the broadcast standards for American children programming in the 80s.
Yeah, a lot less titties.
And less graphic. No death.
Yeah, zero death.
They would not have shown
Cassilia getting her head blown off.
Amuro getting a foil shoved through his bicep.
Or Girin receiving a shot through the brain.
Yeah.
Or Degwin calling his son Adolf Hitler.
That would have been a rewrite in the script for that aspect.
You remind me of famous dictators throughout
A
time.
terrible person. No, that would have been a complete rewrite of that scene if they would have kept it in. Probably something about how he's going to disown him because he doesn't think that he has the best interest of those people in mind. So, Mobile Suit Gundam.
Fun.
You may not be surprised, or you may be surprised by this, but it wasn't actually really popular for its initial broadcast.
That's fair.
And remember, this was aimed for probably a demographic of about 10 to 12-year-olds. And it didn't really capture their imagination.
It got really serious towards the end. Like,
Yeah.
it seemed like the age demographic bumped up about
5 years.
5 to 6 years for the second half of this series.
Hey, you know what else did that?
What?
Evangelion. I never watched the original Mobile Suit Gundam. My introduction to Gundam was Stardust Memories. I watched a couple of episodes at the end of the 90s. And then since then, I've just picked up random series, and pretty much none of them have been Universal Century. So everything I ever knew about Gundam, at least the Universal Century story, was ancillary. But now after watching it, both the TV series and the movies, which the movies are missing some things, but if you don't watch the TV series, it doesn't matter. With one exception, I would say, honestly.
I prefer the TV series.
I think there's too much garbage in the TV series. For anybody that's getting into Gundam and just wants to get into, just like do it. Like they want to watch it, they want to understand the story, they're not sure if they want to invest in it, I would tell them to watch the movies. Then afterwards...
I would watch the first movie and then watch the rest of the series.
No, I think just watching the movies is sufficient enough for somebody who wants to dip their toes into Gundam. If then, after they've watched the movies, they decided this is for me, by all means, go back and watch the TV series.
I feel like you're missing too much of the 2/3.
I don't think so.
Missing a couple of battles.
I don't think that's important enough.
Agree to disagree. I think some of the battles that they skip are very important to the idea that these kids basically become war veterans, and how Amuro goes from whiny little bitch to almost leaving White Base to like, cool, yeah, I'm like actually on board with this to be, a combat veteran.
Sure.
And like why he would be so willing to sacrifice himself to save White Base's crew. That only comes from veterancy.
No, I think they handle that really well at the end. Well, even with his running in with Lala, and Lala's like, you don't have anybody to go to. And then Amuro's like, yeah, because his mom disowned him. He disowned his father. And he's like, what else do I have?
Entirety of the White Base crew.
Which he doesn't realize until the very end of it.
I don't know. I feel like the extra stuff that you miss in the movie helps sell it a little bit, that this is his family.
I think the movies, what is it?
Like the movies do a decent job.
7+ hours. I think it does a good job of telling the majority of the important parts of the story. Enough to understand the characters, understand their situation.
Like I'll agree that the movies do a decent enough job. I just think with the anime, you don't lose out on more of the conflict.
But you also get a lot of the dumb stuff.
Like I can see using the movie to cover the first third of the anime, where more of the dumb stuff happens. Because I feel like in the last 2/3 of the anime, it's straight gas. There's no dumb stuff.
I would say the last third.
Basically, after like Ryu sacrifices himself.
Nah.
It's
no,
straight
there's
gas
some dumb
afterwards.
stuff still. Particularly the whole catalyst of the kids stumbling upon the plan to blow up the GMs. I don't know. So the thing that's awkward with movie 3, and it's a really minor thing, when Amuro runs into his father and his father gives him that new program to load into the Gundam based off of Zaku combat data, and Amuro destroys it. There's a small skirmish that he gets involved in, which he wins by the skin of his teeth. And he comes back and talks to his dad, and they kept it in the movie where his dad was like, hey, how did that combat stuff work? Because his dad wanted to know in that battle that his dad knew happened, how the combat worked, how the new combat data helped. And Amuro just kind of like flipped his way through it, not telling him that he trashed it. So that was a little weird, but that's just a little itty bitty nitpicking thing. The whole reason why Hardcore went deciding into like just really diving into Universal Century is GQX. And
damn, we should just watch GQX.
And I think because of GQX's impact on my perception of some of these characters, I have a lot more interest in like Lala Soon and Amuro and Char's triangular relationship. That is the catalyst, particularly with Char's counterattack, of Amuro and Char's relationship. Whereas, in the beginning, it was just they were the antagonists against each other that they just kept meeting in combat and could never defeat each other. But then Lala came in and became this overwhelmingly emotional force that overwhelmed both of them.
Yeah.
And then her death was so tragic, and the result of both of them being there, that it just becomes this integral thing within their personalities.
Because Char's just like, I can't let him live. He killed Lala.
And he's like, oh, if it wasn't for you, Lala wouldn't be dead, because she wouldn't have been a soldier fighting for the war.
And then Amuro's like, no, it'd be, if you weren't involved, she wouldn't have been a soldier fighting in the war.
I attributed it during the talk about GQX. Ano was just part of the process. There were other people that were more involved in the writing and production of it, but GQX truly is a love letter and a fan fiction of the original Mobile Suit Gundam, because the entire catalyst of it is Zeon wins the war because Char gets to the RX-78-2 first. When they attack Side 7, he gets to it, jumps into it. Amuro is not anywhere to be found. And Char uses the RX-78 to bring victory to Zeon. So now that you have watched Mobile Suit Gundam, you have all the information and foresight you need to watch GQX. Now, I remember when we were talking about it with John, he had brought up the idea that, well, I think it was more me that conjectured this, that because I had not watched Mobile Suit Gundam, I didn't have the foreknowledge to recognize and understand things in GQX, which is true. I feared that I had ruined GQX in that regard, but I think the opposite happened. I think the things I experienced in GQX enhanced the connection I felt for some of the characters and moments in the original Mobile Suit Gundam instead. So at this point, I don't regret my backwards watching of these two stories. Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
All right, so next week, we are cracking into the compilation movie for Stardust Memories. So Mobile Suit Gundam 0083, The Afterglow of Zeon. Overall, Stardust Memories is not entirely integral into continuing the Universal Century story. What matters is what happens to the Federation at the end of Stardust Memories. That's the important part, because that sets up the tone and the environment and the politics for Zeta Gundam, which is important, because otherwise I feel that if you move from Mobile Suit Gundam into Zeta Gundam, there's a bit of a disconnect, because politics are very different for the Federation between the ending of the series and the beginning of Zeta. So thanks for listening. We're through one series. We have 3 more, and then not a series, but a movie. No, 2 more movies. Yeah, so we got 0083, then we got Zeta. We're going to ignore Double Zeta. Then we'll move into Char's counterattack and wrap up with Hathaway.
And Unicorn.
Oh God, I forgot about Unicorn. That's the entire thing that started this, was Unicorn. Oh, okay. Right.
I was like, Steve, Unicorn
Right.
OVA.
Yeah, that was the catalyst. Tune in next week. We'll be talking about Stardust Memories compilation movie. And then on Friday, we have the next episode of Weekly Ranma. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell if you have not, so you know when these episodes come out. Don't forget our socials. Come harass us. And don't forget to check out the earlier video where myself and 2 guests talked about Gundam GQX. Until then, catch you guys next time.